The arena goes dark. A spotlight beams down on the hardwood floor. The crowd roars with a mixture of awe, excitement, and anticipation. At the center of it all stands one man, LeBron James. For over 2 decades, his name has been synonymous with dominance. He's rewritten history books, broken records once thought untouchable, and carried the title the King with an iron grip. But here's the question every NBA fan, analyst, and rival superstar can't stop asking. Is LeBron James still the face of the league, or has the crown finally slipped away? Because surrounding him are warriors hungry for that throne. Players with freakish talent, generational skill sets, and a burning desire to eclipse his legacy. Tonight, we begin a journey. A battle of eras. A war between the king who refuses to step down and the 10 superstars poised to claim his crown. The weight of a legacy. LeBron's story is not just about basketball. It's about survival. It's about carrying expectations that would have crushed most men before they even reached adulthood. At 18 years old, he was already called the Chosen One. Sports Illustrated didn't just feature him. They anointed him. The NBA didn't just draft him. They expected him to save the league. And he did, for championships. Multiple MVPs. The all-time leading scorer in NBA history. LeBron is the blueprint, the standard, the measuring stick by which every other player is judged. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Time is undefeated. And as the years stack up, the whispers grow louder. Is LeBron still the undisputed best? Or is he now just one of the greats among other greats? The rise of the challengers. Enter the new generation. A lineup of superstars so dominant, so explosive, that the league feels like it's entering a golden age of talent. Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Greek freak, who doesn't just play basketball, he destroys physics. A 2-time MVP and NBA champion who can dominate both ends of the floor like a modern-day Shaq with guard skills. Stephen Curry, the man who changed the very geometry of the game. The greatest shooter to ever live, who built a dynasty in Golden State and left teams scrambling to keep up with his three-point revolution. Kevin Durant, a 7-foot sniper, nearly unstoppable when healthy. A 2-time champion who once stared LeBron down in the finals and came out on top. Luka Doncic, the young phenom, already carving up defenses with vision, footwork, and ice-cold composure beyond his years. The whispers around him, he could be the next face of the league. Nikola Jokic, the Joker, redefining what it means to be a center. His passing, his IQ, his unshakable calm. He makes basketball look like art. Jason Tatum, Joel Embiid, Anthony Davis, Ja Morant, Devin Booker. The list continues. Each of them a giant in their own right. Each of them carrying the torch of the future. These are not just players. They are predators circling the throne. The clash of eras. Every time LeBron steps onto the court against one of these stars, it feels bigger than basketball. It's symbolic. It's generational. When LeBron drives past Giannis, it's not just 2 players competing. It's a test. Can the old guard still overpower the new? When Curry launches a deep 3 over LeBron's outstretched arms, it's not just another shot. It's a reminder that the game has evolved and that evolution threatens the King's reign. And when Luka stares LeBron down in crunch time, it feels like a passing of the torch moment waiting to happen. LeBron is not just fighting for wins anymore. He's fighting for relevance, for dominance, for the crown he refuses to surrender. The fear factor. Here's the truth. LeBron still instills fear. Ask any young player and they'll admit it. Playing against LeBron isn't just another game. It's a test of courage. The weight of his presence alone changes the energy of the floor. But the fear is fading. Giannis doesn't flinch. Curry doesn't blink. Luka doesn't bow. For the first time in his career, LeBron is not the untouchable figure towering over everyone else. He's part of a war, and the enemy is younger, faster, and hungrier. The big question. So, who really runs the league? Is it still LeBron, the man who's carried the NBA's spotlight for over 20 years? Or is it Giannis, the unstoppable force? Curry, the revolutionary? Luka, the prodigy? Jokic, the genius? The truth may shock you, because while LeBron has more accolades than anyone else in the game, while his name carries weight across every arena in the world, dominance is no longer about history. It's about right now. And right now, the king is under siege. Stick with us as we dive deep into the top 10 NBA superstars individually, how they stack up against LeBron, what makes them dangerous, and whether they truly have what it takes to rip the crown away from him. Because this isn't just basketball. This is a fight for legacy. And legacies are built and destroyed on the court. The NBA is a battlefield. And like any battlefield, there are kings, there are challengers, and there are soldiers waiting for their moment to strike. At the center of it all sits LeBron James, the self-proclaimed king. But surrounding him are 10 superstars. 10 men who represent the greatest threat to his reign. Tonight, we put the spotlight on them one by one. Because to understand whether LeBron James still runs the league, we need to look at the predators chasing him. Giannis Antetokounmpo, the beast unleashed. If there's anyone built to overthrow a king, it's Giannis Antetokounmpo. At nearly 7 feet tall, the wingspan that seems to stretch across the entire court, Giannis doesn't play basketball, he devours it. 2 MVPs, a Finals MVP, and a championship that he earned with a 50-point masterpiece in the clinching game. This is a man who knows what it takes to win. When Giannis stares across the floor at LeBron, it's not admiration, it's hunger. It's the hunger of a man who was once overlooked, doubted, and dismissed as too raw to ever dominate. But now, the student has become the master. Against LeBron, Giannis brings a physicality so brutal that even the king himself struggles to contain it. Their clashes aren't just games, they're gladiator fights. And the scary part? Giannis is still only in his prime. Stephen Curry, the silent assassin. Then there's Steph. No one has changed basketball more than Stephen Curry. His ability to shoot from anywhere on the floor has redefined what defense even means. LeBron may have ruled through power, size, and dominance, but Curry rules through fear. The fear that no lead is ever safe, no shot is too far, and no defense is good enough. LeBron and Curry's rivalry is legendary. 4 straight finals battles, 2 dynasties colliding. Curry's Warriors may have stolen championships that LeBron thought belonged to him, but they also carved Curry's name into the game's history forever. When Curry steps onto the court against LeBron, it's not the clash of generations. It's the clash of philosophies. Power versus precision. The king versus the assassin. And if we're being honest, the assassin has struck plenty times. Kevin Durant, the relentless scorer. Some say Kevin Durant is the purest scorer basketball has ever seen. 7 feet tall, with a hand like a guard, and a shot that's nearly impossible to block. KD is a nightmare for anyone in his path. LeBron and KD's rivalry runs deep. They've met in the finals 3 times. In 2017 and 2018, it was Durant, not LeBron, who walked away with the glory, the finals MVPs, and the rings. For LeBron, those battles weren't just losses, they were scars. Because Durant didn't just beat him, he outshined him. And while KD has battled injuries, his presence looms over the league like a shadow. Whenever he's healthy, he's still capable of taking down anyone, including the king himself. Luka Doncic, the prodigy. LeBron was once a young phenom, the chosen one destined for greatness. Now, when he looks across the court, he sees a mirror image of his younger self in Luka Doncic. Luka is the definition of fearless. He's not afraid of the moment, not afraid of the pressure, not afraid of LeBron. At just 25, he already carries himself like a seasoned veteran. He scores, he passes, he rebounds. He controls the game like a maestro conducting an orchestra. When Luka plays against LeBron, it feels symbolic, like the universe is testing the king against his possible successor. Luka isn't just chasing wins. He's chasing history. He's chasing LeBron's legacy. And if he continues at this pace, one day, the throne may belong to him. Nikola Jokic, the joker who changed the game. Basketball purists call Nikola Jokic a gift to the sport. A 7-foot center who passes better than most point guards, who moves at his own pace, and who dominates without flash but with absolute efficiency. LeBron has always prided himself on being the smartest player on the floor. But against Jokic, that advantage disappears. The Joker sees everything. Every cut, every screen, every weak rotation. When Jokic led the Denver Nuggets to the 2023 championship, he didn't just win, he dismantled opponents with ease. Some analysts even said it was the passing of the torch moment. the moment the Joker became the league's true ruler. For LeBron, facing Jokic is a nightmare, because this isn't about who jumps higher or runs faster. It's about who thinks quicker. And the Joker rarely loses that game. The others waiting for their moment. But it's not just those five. The shadows are filled with even more killers. Joel Embiid, the reigning MVP, whose size and skill make him nearly unstoppable in the paint. Jason Tatum, who has already carried Boston to the finals and is knocking on the door of greatness. Anthony Davis, LeBron's own teammate, who sometimes looks like the true alpha when healthy. Ja Morant, the high-flying phenom whose explosiveness makes him one of the most dangerous young stars. Devin Booker, the silent killer with Kobe-like footwork and the hunger to bring Phoenix its first ring. Each of these men represents the storm closing in on the king, the war for supremacy. So here's the question. If these 10 superstars are circling LeBron, where does he stand? On paper, he's still the king. He's still the man who broke Kareem's scoring record. He's still the one whose name echoes through every arena like a thunderclap. But dominance isn't about the past. It's about the present. And the present belongs to these challengers. Giannis, Curry, KD, Luka, Jokic. Each one has a claim to the throne. Each one has the power to dethrone the king. And that brings us to the heart of this battle. Can LeBron still stand tall against all 10 of them? Or is it finally time for the king to fall? Shortly, we'll look at LeBron's biggest head-to-head battles with these superstars. The nights when he silenced doubters, the nights when he was humbled, and the moments that define whether or not the crown still belongs to him. Because the truth is, a king isn't judged by his words. He's judged by the wars he survives. And LeBron's wars with these superstars are the key to answering the ultimate question: who really runs the league? Every great king in history is defined not just by his crown, but by the battles he fought to keep it. And LeBron James is no different. For 2 decades, his career has been one long war. Sometimes glorious, sometimes humbling, but always unforgettable. To understand whether LeBron still rules the NBA, we need to relive the defining moments when he went head-to-head with the very superstars threatening his throne. The finals against Curry, a clash of dynasties. It was 2015 when the world realized Stephen Curry was no ordinary player. His Golden State Warriors were young, hungry, and armed with a style of play that defied convention. Three-pointers rained from every corner of the court. LeBron, carrying a battered Cavalier squad, stood as their only real obstacle. Curry won, but LeBron didn't bow. In 2016, down 3-1 in the finals, LeBron James delivered the greatest comeback in NBA history. His chase-down block on Andre Iguodala is etched in stone, not just as a highlight, but as a symbol. It screamed, "This is still my league." And yet, the following years told a different story. Kevin Durant joined Curry, and suddenly, LeBron's battles against Golden State turned into nightmares. Durant's finals daggers, Curry's unstoppable range. For once, the king looked mortal. Those battles weren't just about wins and losses. They were about survival. And for LeBron, surviving the Warriors dynasty was both a scar and a reminder that even kings can bleed. The showdowns with Durant, a rivalry of equals. If there's one man who has truly tested LeBron's greatness, it's Kevin Durant. In 2012, when LeBron finally won his first championship with Miami, he had to go through a young KD and the Oklahoma City Thunder. That finals wasn't just a win, it was a statement. LeBron had silenced the critics who said he couldn't deliver on the big stage. But 6 years later, the tables turned. In 2017 and 2018, it was Durant who walked away with back-to-back finals MVPs, drilling game-winning threes over LeBron himself. For all of LeBron's brilliance, he couldn't stop Durant from taking center stage. LeBron has always been the king, but Durant, in those moments, felt like the usurper, the rival who proved that even the greatest can be outshined. Giannis, the monster at the gate. LeBron's physical dominance defined his career. For years, no one could match his combination of strength, speed, and skill. But then came Giannis. When the Lakers faced the Bucks, the matchup was more than just two stars. It was a passing of the torch test. And sometimes, it looked like Giannis was the one holding the flame. dunks over defenders, chase down blocks that mirror LeBron's own, relentless drives to the rim. Giannis doesn't just play against LeBron, he plays through him. For LeBron, Giannis is the nightmare he once was to others. Younger, stronger, hungrier, and with a championship ring of his own. The Greek freak has proved that he's not just chasing the king, he's already building his own empire. Luka, the young mirror. When LeBron faces Luka Doncic, it's eerie. Luka is calm, confident, and calculated. He controls games without panic, the same way LeBron did when he was just a rising star. Their battles aren't about dominance. They're about destiny. Luka looks across the floor and sees a standard he must surpass. LeBron looks back and sees a reflection of who he once was. Every step-back three, Luka drains. Every no-look pass he whips across the floor. Feels like a whisper of the future. A whisper that says, one day, this will be my league. And for LeBron, stopping Luka is not just about winning a game. It's about holding back time itself. Jokic, the genius who doesn't flinch. The 2023 Western Conference Finals were supposed to be LeBron's chance to shock the world again. But Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets had other plans. Game after game, the Joker dismantled the Lakers with surgical precision. It wasn't loud. It wasn't flashy. It was clinical. Jokic outthought LeBron, outpassed him, and ultimately outlasted him. For LeBron, that series wasn't just a loss. It was a reality check. Because for the first time, he wasn't just beaten by athleticism or youth. He was beaten by IQ, the very thing he had always used to separate himself. If LeBron was a professor of basketball, Jokic proved he was a new headmaster, the others who left their mark. LeBron's wars with other stars tell the same story. Joel Embiid overpowering defenders the way LeBron once did. Jason Tatum hitting daggers in the playoffs, determined to write his own legacy. Ja Morant soaring through the air, reminding everyone of a young LeBron's hops. Devin Booker dropping 40 in playoff games, demanding respect as the next great scorer. Each of them has had nights where they looked like the king, nights where LeBron couldn't stop them, nights where the throne looked vulnerable, the cost of every battle. But here's the thing, LeBron never goes quietly. Even when he loses, he leaves his mark. At 38, he's still dropping 40-point playoff games, still dunking on defenders half his age, still orchestrating plays like a grandmaster in his final chapters. The battles have taken their toll, injuries, fatigue, the weight of carrying teams, but they've also created a paradox. LeBron James is both the past and the present. He is both the legend and the competitor. He is both the king and the challenger. The question that haunts, so who really runs the league? Is it Giannis, the monster at the gate? Curry, the assassin who changed the game? Durant, the rival who proved his equal? Luka, the prodigy? Jokic, the genius? Or is it still LeBron James, the man who, no matter how many challengers rise, refuses to step down? The wars tell us one thing. The king is still fighting. But how much longer can he last? In our next segment, we'll uncover the ultimate truth, LeBron's legacy, the reality of his reign today, and whether the throne truly belongs to him or to someone else. Because history doesn't just remember kings who ruled. It remembers the moment they fell. Every reign ends. That's the truth kings can't escape. Some go out in flames. Some go out in silence. But every dynasty has a final chapter. The question is, what about LeBron James? After 20 seasons for championships, 10 finals appearances, and more points than any player in NBA history, is he still the one who runs the league? Or has his crown already slipped into the hands of a new generation? The answer is more complicated than you think. The power of a legacy. LeBron James is not just another superstar. He is a thread that connects multiple generations of basketball. He faced Tim Duncan and Kobe Bryant in his youth. He went toe-to-toe with Kevin Durant and Stephen Curry in his prime. And now, he stares down Luka Doncic, Nikola Jokic, and Giannis Antetokounmpo as he nears the twilight of his career. Few players have ever stood the test of time the way LeBron has. While other stars rise and fade, LeBron remains. Season after season, he reinvents himself. From the unstoppable freight train in Cleveland to the villain in Miami, to the savior in Los Angeles. LeBron has always adapted, always found a way to stay relevant. That in itself is a kind of rule, a kind of dominance no one else has mastered. But here's the truth. The league is no longer his alone. The shared throne. In the past, it was clear. In the late 2000s and early 2010s, LeBron was the player, the king, the face of the league. But today, the throne feels crowded. Giannis owns the paint. Curry owns the perimeter. Jokic owns the flow of the game. Luka owns the spotlight of the future. Durant, Tatum, Embiid, Booker, each one has a kingdom of their own. Basketball is no longer ruled by one man. It's ruled by many. But here's the thing. Even in this shared kingdom, LeBron is still the name everyone watches. Still the measuring stick. Still the one the next generation must surpass to be crowned. In a way, he doesn't need to run the league anymore, because the league already runs through him. The fear factor still remains. Ask any young player about LeBron, and they'll tell you the same thing. Playing against him is different. He may not dominate every game the way he once did, but the weight of his presence changes the energy of the court. His IQ, his composure, his ability to rise in big moments. It's still there. When LeBron hits a clutch three, when he throws down a thunderous dunk, when he delivers a pass only he could see, the message is clear. The king isn't done yet. And that fear, that respect, that aura, it means something. It means that no matter how many challengers rise, the shadow of the king still looms over them. What happens after the crown? But let's face reality. Time will catch him. LeBron knows it. We know it. The crown will eventually pass. Luka will carve his place. Giannis will keep stacking trophies. Jokic may redefine greatness altogether. Curry has already built an empire. But LeBron's legacy isn't about how long he wears the crown. It's about what he built with it. He took the league from Michael Jordan's shadow and carried it into a new era. He faced dynasties, built dynasties, and left his fingerprints on every chapter of basketball in the 21st century. When future generations debate the greatest of all time, his name will always be there, not just because of stats or titles, but because of presence, because of fear, because of impact. And maybe that's the ultimate answer. So, who really runs the league? It's tempting to say Giannis, or Curry, or Jokic, or Luka. Each has a claim, and each deserves it. But running the league isn't just about stats. It isn't just about rings. It's about influence. It's about the storyline. It's about whose name echoes loudest when the ball tips off. And even today at 39, that name is still LeBron James. Not because he wins every battle. Not because he's the undisputed best anymore. But because when he steps onto the floor, the world still stops to watch. And until the day comes when that no longer happens, the truth remains simple. The king still sits on the throne. The final word. LeBron James versus the top 10 NBA superstars isn't just a debate about basketball. It's a story about legacy, about survival, about what it means to carry a crown in a world where everyone wants it. The young challengers are ready. The dynasty builders are strong. The prodigies are hungry. And one day, the crown will belong to them. But not yet. Because even after 20 years, after wars won and lost, after rivals young and old, the king is still standing, still feared, still respected, still ruling, even if just by the weight of his presence. So who really runs the league? Maybe the answer is this. The league runs on LeBron James.